Adam, Darlington, obviously disappointing. What are your reflections now, almost a week on?
Disappointed that we lost the game, obviously, but there was a lot of good things that we took from it. I think the feeling after the game was a strange one in terms of I think everybody in the ground saying that we played well and created a lot of chances. But obviously the disappointment of losing the game. But it was a strange feeling because I think we've drew some games this season that have felt like heavy losses, and we lost the game, but we took a lot of positives from it. So I think if we were to perform like that consistently, you win a lot more games than you lose. So yeah, it was a weird day. Disappointed to lose the game, but we took a lot of positives. I thought the atmosphere on the day was tremendous. Massive thanks to the supporters for the atmosphere they created on Saturday. I thought they were excellent, and I appreciated it. The players appreciated it, and it showed what a good place this can be for us. So there was a lot of positives to come out of Saturday, and if we continue on that vein as we have done for the last 6 games, we'll end up in a good position.
The big frustration, I suppose, must have been the fact that both their goals came in injury time at the end of each half, really.
Yeah, it's obviously not a good thing, but I think obviously everybody's aware we've conceded a few late goals. I think Saturday was different. I think Saturday was an individual error. Saturday was just a plain mistake, and the boys held their hands up to that. And that, for me, that wasn't the same as the other late goals we've conceded. I think the other late goals we conceded have been more of a mentality. Possibly a couple of bit of my fault in terms of trying to be a little bit safe in the final minutes and tweaking things, where my learning is we're better when we stay on the attack, as we've shown on Tuesday night at Bedford, and we've shown on Saturday. I mean, Saturday for the last minute we're attacking. I think the kick before the goal, we've gone close to going through 1v1 with the keeper. So Saturday's last minute goal was a little bit different to the others, where I think it was just an individual error, and that happens, and we move on from it.
Aside from the result, I'm guessing the real downside was an injury to Dan Mooney.
Yeah, that was a real kick in the gonads, and it's not good news for us. I think it's going to be a long one for Dan, not one that we're going to see him soon. So we're all devastated for him more than anything, and he needs our support at the minute. And I'd probably encourage our supporters to reach out to him if he's on. I'm not sure if he's on social media or if he is or not, but to reach out for him and give him the support, because I know he's obviously disappointed at the minute and down. So that is a real blow, but at the same time it's an opportunity for somebody else, and I can reassure our supporters that we're looking to try and make moves to replace that, to bring somebody in. But yeah, gutted for Dan.
Do you know yet what the extent of the injury is?
Well, it's his ACL, so it'll be a while.
And it is a blow, because when he's played, when he's been on song this season, he's looked at players like, which is presumably why you brought him here in the first place.
100%, and I think Dan's he's got the, what do they call it, the monkey off his back. He's got that off his back in terms of, I think he got a little bit of reputation about himself at other clubs, that he was a bad egg, and he was this and he was that, and I think he's got rid of that now. I think the boys love him. I think the supporters love him, and rightly so. He's a real team player, works really hard for the team, attitude's unbelievable. So this will be a tough moment for him, but I do believe he'll come back stronger, and he'll have all the support of the club and the supporters, and we'll get him through it. So it's a blow for us, because he's one of our best players, and obviously a real attacking threat for us. But unfortunately, it's just football.
Is he likely to require surgery or not?
I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. He's got to see a specialist over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see. We'll go from there.
On to this weekend then, different competition, and well, you will be favourites for this one, obviously, because you play your league football a couple of levels higher than Corby, and you're at home. Yeah,
I think it's a cup game, so none of that matters. I think whatever cup it's in, cup games are always levellers, just because the underdog raises its game. I think everybody raises the game for us, don't they? I went to watch Alfreton Spennymoor on Tuesday night, and look, 2 totally different teams to what played us. So that's something that I'm learning. It's been a big learning curve for me, that it doesn't matter what we watch in preparation, we get different here. So we have to make sure that we treat tomorrow like a cup final. Our preparation has been like it would for any other game. There won't be wholesale changes. We've got a couple of niggles that we're I'm not sure whether we risk or not yet, but it's going to be a really tough game. They're doing well in their league. They'll be obviously up for the game and fired up, and we just got to make sure that we keep our performance levels, our standards right, and we treat it like any other game, and we go out there to try and win the game.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're going in strong then, because I know some managers sort of play down the trophy a bit.
No, and I think for me, I keep saying it, like I want a cup run. It's an opportunity to get to Wembley, and I think this club deserves that. The supporters deserve that. So we're going to try and win and go as far as we possibly can. Do I put it over the promotion challenge? No, obviously not. Promotion's my first thing, and that's what we're all aiming to do at the end of the season, be in that mix. But we want a cup run, so we're going out of it with a mindset that we're strong. We're looking to win the game. We're not looking to change players and get people minutes. We'll be strong. So yeah.
You mentioned you got a couple of niggles. Obviously, as we're speaking now, it's absolutely caning it down outside. The pitch, it looks good, but it could be heavy, I suppose. Will that come into your sort of thinking whether or not you play players with niggles?
No, we've got one or two that even if it was a league game, it'd be touch and go if they'd be right. And we're just going through that moment at the minute. You have it in every season where we're picking up some bumps and frustrating. It's not muscle injuries that you can kind of look at fatigue, etc. It's either knees or ankles, which you can't do nothing about. So we've got a couple of calls to make, but in terms of our pitch is outstanding. So I've got no doubts about that. Training ground's been great as well, so we've trained as normal. So no, we're looking forward to the game.
Since we last spoke, you've added to the squad. Michael Gyasi came in, made his debut the other day. What do you see in him?
Goals, I hope. I think everything, we've made a big thing about it, and rightly so, that everything that we look at in terms of, we've only lost 4 games out of 17 now, which is fantastic. Our defensive side of our game is we're top 3 in everything, but we're not scoring enough goals. So in terms of Mike, I think he's relevant. In terms of last season, he scored goals. This season he started the season on fire, picked up an illness and then an injury, and then he's had a change of manager. So I just dropped a message out there in chance, if I'm being honest with you, because obviously we wanted to add something, and he wasn't in the manager's plans at this time. So we jumped in, and hopefully he can add that. He's not played a lot of match minutes in the last few weeks, so I think we seen that on Saturday. He was a little bit rusty, but that would have done him the world of good. He's had a really good week's training, so it's good to have him on board.
And one of your loanees, Paul Carnby, signed an extension, I understand, as well.
Yeah, we managed to extend Paul, which is great news. I think he's been outstanding. I think the results have shown the difference he's made to us, so we've extended his contract, which is really good news for everybody.
So he'll be here until January?
End of January, I think it is. Obviously then with the option to extend if all goes to plan, but that's what you want from your loan guys coming in. You want them to have an impact, you want them to add and make you better, and that's something we're going to be looking at doing. I think for us, our aim this season is our ultimate aim is we want to get out of the league. However way we do that, we've got a lot of work to do to make sure that we're ready for that. But we're on a journey here. We've got a plan that we want over the next 2 or 3 years, and making moves to make us stronger is always going to be our target. So I think we've done well with that so far, and we'll continue to build.
You mentioned obviously with Dan Mooney being a long-term absentee, or fairly long-term absentee, you're looking to strengthen. You're actively looking at the moment, are you, to get someone in?
Very actively.
That obviously probably won't happen between now and tomorrow, but would you hope in the next week or so?
I'd like to think so. I think we're at the point of the season now where, especially now the weather's changing, pitches change, I see the top 7 shaking. I think there'll be points dropped all over the place, and we've got to be in a position over the next 8 weeks where we can strike. I think if we're in that position, we'll end up in a really good place. There's still a lot we've got to do, a lot to improve on, but we've learned a lot. We need to make sure that if we do become the playoff team, that our mentality is ready for that. We've got a certain amount of games that we feel that we need to win out of the games left. So we know what our targets are, and I feel like we're on course to do that. So looking forward to the next group of games.
A final point, it's been a weird season in many ways, hasn't it? I mean, okay, you lost at home last Saturday, but generally, Harriers fans that I've spoken to since were fairly positive. They said, actually, Harriers played pretty well. You've won games earlier in the season, and it's been fairly negative. It's been a bit weird, and you're still up there. And yet, the overall thing throughout the season, you could say, has been a bit downbeat, really.
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of emotion around the place, haven't there? And I've been part of that. Do you know what I mean? I've fueled that at times, which has been my bad and my learning. But I was really happy on Saturday. Apart from the result, I felt a togetherness for the first time, which was massive. I think the players felt it. The players were speaking about it after the game. A lot of the supporters clapped the players off with the performance on Saturday, which meant a lot. And for me now, the only way forward I can see is up, and I think it's took a little bit of time to get there. I think there's been a lot of learning on my behalf, a lot of learning in terms of the players gelling and us finding the right ingredients that fits a way for this team to pick up points. But I feel like we're getting there now. So for me, the first block of games has been a lot of learning and rejigging and seeing what fits and what doesn't, and hopefully that will keep us in good stead for the next block of games. But no, I think we've come out of a part of the season that I think frustration would be the word, but I do honestly believe that will keep us in good stead, and it'll bring us as a tight-knit group, as fans, as supporters together and staff to move forward and really achieve this season.
And I absolutely appreciate what you say, that the league is obviously the number one priority. I understand that. But nonetheless, get through a couple of rounds of the trophy and suddenly interest levels start growing around the place, and that can sort of help your league form a bit, can't it?
100%. Winning breeds winning, and that's why we're not taking our foot off the gas tomorrow in terms of our mentality. I think we know that when we've seen it already, once we're in a mode and where performance levels are high, results come. So we want to stay in that mode. I think it's important that we understand what makes us a good team, and we try and improve that. And that's why, like you say, it's a few games and you're down the line, and then you're close to Wembley, and why would you not want to get to Wembley? So I said it before, I wanted a FA Cup run, and we didn't manage to get that. So we're going to do our best to try and get a run in this. Obviously we can't promise anything, but all of our motives are that to go out and win.